How to configure cost price and sales price in project service automation for Dynamics 365. Let's have a look. So cost price is the cost incurred by your organization. So for your organization unit, you can configure cost price per resource. The cost price also determines what resource cost is going into a project, which will ultimately be used for determining profitability of a project. For demonstration purpose, we will take the following scenario where we are going to configure cost price for our organization unit called Tech Quantum Australia. Now, in a couple of videos back, I had shown how you can set up organization unit, and also we'll use the following resource roles. If you want to know how to set up resource roles, again, you can go back and look one of my videos where I've explained how you can set up the resource roles. So we'll take technical consultant, functional consultant, and business analyst, and we will configure the AU cost price of those resources as 90, 100, and 120 per hour respectively. Now, before you can go ahead and set up cost prices, there are two things that you might require. One is the organization unit and the roles. Now, if you want to see how to set up organization unit, you can watch episode 6. And if you want to know how to set up roles, you can watch episode 8 in the video series. So to set up the costs, actually you need to go to the settings, and we will go ahead and open the organization unit that we had created, that is the Tech Quantum AU. And then in the section over here which says cost price list, we need to specify the cost price list for Tech Quantum AU organization unit. So what you can do is you can directly go ahead and click on add existing price list, and then select the cost price from the price list over here. So right now, since we do not have that, we need to set up the cost price for Australia. We can either go over here and click on new price list, and it will take you to the price list page where you can set up the price list. But let me just go ahead and show you another way. You can actually go to the sales area, and then in the sales area you will have on the navigation pane you will see price list. So you can click on the price list over here. Now this price list is actually used in your sales module as well for your products, but it's also used for your project service automation. So what you can do is go ahead and click on new, and then create a new price list, AU cost price. And then in the context, it's important that you select cost over here because this is the cost price. So once you have specified the start date and end date, it is important that you select the currency. Let's select Australian dollars. Time unit is R, and you can also provide a description over here, and then click on save. Now the next step is to go to role prices. Now when you're working with project service automation, you define the role prices. When you're working with products, you define the priceless items. So let's go to role prices. And in this section, we will define all the roles and the cost price associated with that roles. So let's just click on new role price over here. And then in this case, we will select the technical consultant, and the resourcing unit will be Tech Quantum Australia, and the price will be $90. And the unit schedule is time, and the unit is hour. So we'll just click on save and create new, and then we will add functional consultant, and the resourcing unit again, Tech Quantum AU, price is $100 per hour. And then we'll click on save and new, and let's just go ahead and add business analyst, and the resourcing unit again is Tech Quantum AU, and the price is $125 Australian dollars. Now let's add one more role, project manager, and the resourcing unit as Tech Quantum AU, and the price, let's say it's 150 Australian dollars per hour, and then click on save and close. So now we have a price list, which is the AU cost price list, and we have role prices defined over here. So that means if a resource who belongs to the Tech Quantum AU organization unit and is working on a project, the cost price will be taken from this list. That means if the resource is a business analyst, his cost is $125 per hour. And if he's a functional consultant, his price is $100 per hour, so on and so forth. Now, there may be a situation where you want resources from other resourcing unit. That means there might be some resources on a project from Tech Quantum India or Tech Quantum US. So in that case, you create an Indian cost price or a US cost price, and then make sure that the resourcing unit is of appropriate location, and you can define the same roles over there with the respective cost prices. Now the next tab is role price markups. Now over here, if you want to add some more price markups in percentage value, you can add it over here. All you need to do is click on new role markup, and this is over and above the role prices that you define. So you define the price markup in percentage value over here. We are not going to do that right now, so let's just close that. Now the next tab is category prices. Now over here you can define all the expenses that are incurred when a resource is working on a project. There can be airfares, there can be meals, there can be hotel accommodation or car hire or travel. So all those kind of expenses that you think can be incurred, you can also define this over here in this price list. So let's just go ahead and click on new transaction category. Now there is a transaction category master that you can also set up in the settings, just like you set up the roles and prices. So over here there is already some data available, but if the transaction category is not available, you can go ahead and click on new transaction category and just define those with simple names and descriptions. So let us just add airfare. Now the price calculation in this case would be at cost, because, well, airfare is always, there cannot be a fixed price to it. So if there is some expense which has fixed price, you can use price per unit, or it is at cost. Or if you want to add some percentage over and above it, you can actually select markup percentage and define the percentage. So over here we'll just define that at cost, and unit schedule is default unit, and the percentage in prices are locked. That means you cannot enter the values over here, so it is always at cost. You can save and close. So similarly, I have added other expenses like car rental, hotel, meal, and miscellaneous for unknown expenses. So once you're done category prices, you have actually defined the cost price. There are other tabs like priceless items and territory relationships. Well, when you're working with products, or when you're selling some product, you can define those in the priceless item. But right now in this example, we have defined the role prices, which are our cost price. So now our AU cost price is all ready, and it is also active, so we can use this in our organization unit. So let's just go ahead and go to our settings, go to organization units, and look for Tech Quantum Australia. And for this organization unit, now we can go ahead and add the cost price list. So click on add existing price list, and we will use the AU cost price that we just created. And if you want, you can add more price lists which is relevant for this particular organization unit. Once you have done that, you can click on add. So now the cost price list is now available for this organization unit, and there is a start date and an end date, which means that it will be applicable from this particular date and will end at this particular date. Now the sales price is what you charge to your customer. So it determines what price you are going to charge for a particular project. Now in this scenario, we'll take the organization unit again as Tech Quantum Australia, and the resource role and price example that we are going to take is for technical consultant. We are charging $190 per hour. For functional consultant, that is $200 per hour, and for business analyst is $250 per hour, as an example. So over here again, we follow the same steps. We go to our sales area and then click on price list. And just like we had defined the AU cost price, we will go ahead and define AU sales price. So let's just give it a name, AU sales price, and then also give it a description, AU sales price for, and then over here in the context, the main difference is that we are going to select sales because this is the sales price, and then provide a start and an end date, and then select the currency as Australian dollars, and then click on save. The time unit is also hours over here. And again, we can go to our roll prices. Now, again, in this case, we are defining the sales price, but the steps are same. So we can go to new roll prices. So for technical consultant and for the organization unit Tech Quantum AU, we are going to charge the customer $190 per hour, and the currency is Australian dollar, unit schedule is time, and unit is hour. So similarly, we can go ahead and add more role prices. So as you can see over here, I have added the other roles as well. The business analyst, $250 per hour, functional consultant, $200 per hour, and project manager as well, $300 per hour. Similarly, you can go ahead and add price markups if you want, and also the category prices, the expenses that you're going to charge to your customers. So again, I have added airfare, car rentals, hotel, meals, and miscellaneous, which is at cost. That is, there's no defined price over here. If you want, you can add more role price markups over here as percentages. And in the price list item, in this example, we have to sell Business Central. So I have created that product already. So there are another steps where you can create products in the product master and publish them. And only the published products can be used anywhere. So right now, let's just go ahead and click on new price list item, and then select an existing product, Microsoft Dynamics Business Central. And over here, we'll choose the primary unit, and the pricing method we will choose as currency amount. And let's just say, for example, it's $250 for a license, and then click on save and close. So over here, we have now added a product in the price list items as well. So this is how you set up a sales price. And you can also set this up at the accounts level. So for example, if you go to the customers, and in my active accounts list, let's just open an account over here. So if you click on the project price list on the account card, it will give you an option to add new project price list. So once you click on this, you can actually go ahead and select provide a description and select the sales price over here and attach it to that particular account. So cost price is usually attached at the organization unit level. The sales price is usually attached at the customer level. So why don't you go ahead and try it out for yourself?